All right. What do you got for me, Mike?
Hey, brother, can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear.
Awesome. Well, firstly, pleasure to be on the show from Australia. So just a bit of context behind my question. So it is a two-part one, and you'll see why in a moment. So I'm 26.
Okay.
I run a company which does about 5 million a year in turnover, entrepreneur. And I guess my question, so sorry for rambling a bit, but part one.
Yeah, get to the point. Let's go.
I've been Me Too'd, right?
Okay.
Involving the big R. I'm not going to say the word.
Okay.
And it's really, so part one of my question, it's, a lot, hundreds of thousands of dollars on lawyers, etc.
What do you mean by the big R?
I don't think I should say it on YouTube. Me too.
Okay.
Can
you type it in the private chat for me, just so I can
know
what R word you're talking about?
So I've been accused of that.
Oh, got it. Okay.
And I guess it's, I used to be quite...
Rhymes with grape.
Yeah. I used to be quite confident in that area of my life, interacting with women, etc.
Mm-hmm.
But since this has happened, like, I've just been very...
Hey man, that's the new world order that we live in. Women can destroy a man without any kind of evidence or proof.
That's the exact scenario. Zero
and
evidence.
By the way, this is not fucking new either. Like, I have a childhood friend that went from New York working in the financial segment to London, and when I visited him like 20 years ago, his place was stacked full of hot models, because that's what these loaded, financial, district guys have hanging around them all the time. And like, I think it was 1995 or something like that. He got Me Too in 1995. So Me Too is not a new phenomenon. It's been around for a while.
Yeah. So I guess my question for you, the first question is, what can I do personally to, excel in that area of life when it comes to relationships with women? Because it's definitely caused a bit of internal, an internal dilemma.
I think a lot of guys kind of understand that there's a risk associated with dealing with women in any capacity. It's not like, even if you stay away from marriage, you still have risk exposure. Like, a woman can still destroy a guy that she's not married to. We already know this. So I think one of the first things you got to do is you got to vet for red flags.
Looking back, this particular person.
How many? And I'm going to put my email list below. Get on my email list. If you're not on it, you'll get the red flag chapter for free. So how many red flags did this chick have?
I'd only known her for about 8 hours.
Okay.
So that was probably a bad decision to start with.
But I mean, let's be honest. Like, you can spot the red flags within the first 8 hours. You can spot like the obvious ones anyway.
Probably 3 to 4.
Yeah. So if you're seeing 3 or 4 in 8 hours, there's probably another 3 to 4 that you'll see over the course of 8 more weeks, dealing with it. So I mean, the first thing that you did wrong was you got intimate with a chick that's got more red flags than a Chinese Communist parade. Right.
Yeah. So I think that's definitely a lesson which I've learned taking into the future. Now, I'll only, look to actually create any form of relationship, be it very short term or long term, with someone that displays the opposite of red flags. I think that's something, after some self-diagnosis, I've realized I need to do for personal growth.
Yeah.
And that kind of leads me into part 2. I would like to link my profile for you to evaluate, but I'd rather it kept private. Is that something we can do?
Well, if you put it in the private chat, it's going to be seen by everybody in the waiting area. So if I were like, what do you want to send me? Your Instagram or? So go to my Instagram and DM me right now. I'll grab my phone. I'll take a look at whatever it is you want me to look at. So I'll just see it.
Would that be
the Unplugged Alpha?
Yeah.
What is it that you want me to have a look at?
Well, it's just, I'm really trying to maximize my life in all areas right now. Finances.
Is that you that just said hi?
Yes. Finances, appearance, relationship, just to, as you say, just excel at my life in all areas.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, so I've set quite a high standard for myself. Like,
Mhm.
I'm on a trajectory to be worth 8 figures by the time I'm 30 years old.
Mhm.
Um, like, so I think I've got finances sorted,
You got it
but
all sorted, dude. You're fucking jacked, you're good looking, you drive nice cars, you have a captivating life shown on social media. So what's the ask here?
yeah, well, it's strange because I've recently engaged in online dating since that incident happened. It kind of scared me off real life for a bit,
Mhm.
but I haven't really been having much success. It could be due to my location, Australia, the country. I'm not sure. And I guess
Um,
I'm just looking for some general feedback as to what I can really do to excel because I do have very high standards for myself. Like, I'm worth a few $1 million at my age, and
mhm.
I don't think it's good enough. I don't know if that's a bad thing or a good thing.
Mike,
Also, your
how
feedback.
Mike, how tall are you?
Good question. 5'9".
Okay, so one thing that you never want to do when you're posting photographs. I mean, 5'9" is not short by any stretch of the imagination. It's like the average height for the North American male or like any Western male. But I just wouldn't post photographs of you standing beside taller people. Like there's a photograph of you here standing beside one of your mates. It's a tall Asian dude. Asian
Yeah.
guys aren't generally taller than Caucasian guys, so it amplifies, maybe this guy ain't that tall. So if you're using that photograph on
No, I'm not.
dating apps, then that might be problematic for you.
Mm.
So crop out the really tall guys would be my advice because it makes your height look more normalized when you're standing
Mm.
around a bunch of other guys.
Yeah. Okay. And in general, due to the nature of the company which I run, funnily enough, it's on the internet, but I
Yeah.
totally flew from one end of the country to the other to run this company. And yeah, I do not have any friends bar the people I work with. So what would your advice be in regards to networking with,
Do you
high
own your
desire?
business?
Yes.
Why don't you find the chapter in your city for entrepreneurs organization and join it? It's like 80% male. They're all successful entrepreneurs. A lot of them are plugged in betas though, right? Like you'll sit at a table and they'll be like, well, happy wife, happy life sort of thing. But
Mm,
you'll find
I'm
the odd guy in the group that's like a red pill alpha, that you can probably befriend and hang out with. So that would be a place that I would go to in the city that you live at. If there's a chapter from EO, sign up for it. I don't know. It's a few $1,000s a year. Get into a forum. It'll certainly help your business, but it'll be a very good network. Like I'm still very good friends with a lot of guys that I used to chill with back in EO Toronto, right?
yeah, no, thanks for the advice.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess just considering a last question, I'll let other people hop in a moment. Just what would your advice be for someone like me? I guess when I self-evaluate myself, because I'm very critical because I want
Mhm.
all the success of the world. And I guess in terms of finances, I guess that's going reasonably well.
Mhm.
But in terms of like other areas of maximizing yourself as a man, like what would you suggest based on our brief discussion? What would you suggest that I do work on? Because when I look at myself
Well,
internally, I'm pretty
look,
happy with
I think
everything.
I think
Uh,
obviously like the most important thing that we got to have a conversation with is the fact that you're dealing with hundreds of thousands of dollars into a false charge, a false great
uh,
charge. And
it's
that's the result of you inviting crazy into your life.
mm,
You don't look like you don't strike me as the kind of guy that struggles with, getting women into the bedroom once they have an interest in you, right?
yeah, not at all, not at all.
So, so who cares if it's notch number, 11, 21, 317 or 2000? Like why expose yourself to that risk for like, you know, 20
Yeah,
seconds of pleasure sort of thing. Like just like don't do that thing again. That will make
yeah.
your life more easy, lucrative, and fun, for being honest.
Yeah, no, I definitely realized that after this has happened to me.
Yeah.
That's definitely, I'm no longer looking for any one night stand. I'm sure you know what that means.
Yeah. Mhm.
That's an absolute 0% chance. But yeah, I guess in terms of meeting the types of, females, if we're talking about that, because I've got a very strong network back in my hometown of men,
Mhm.
not that strong in my new city. But in terms of females, like how would you go about meeting in real life? Like what
I'll tell
types
you
of
what, Mike. You've asked some good questions, and I want to be respectful to the other guys that are waiting to come in and ask some
Yeah.
questions. You clearly don't have a problem with money. There's a link to my website. If you go to my website, you can book me for private consults, and we can dive into it for like half an hour to an hour. You can just book 30 minutes if you want. It's up to you.
Yeah, sure thing.
Sounds good?
Awesome. Thanks,
All right,
Rich.
man. Thanks. I really hope you guys enjoyed that clip. If you want to watch the full length podcast, you can find that over here, that clip's from. If you're newer to the channel, make sure you hit subscribe over here, and pin down below in the top comment, you'll find a bunch of useful links to my website, my supplement line, books, and a bunch of other stuff. Have an amazing day. Peace out.